Hey everybody, happy Friday and welcome to Post Launch's Weekly Webcast talking about web presence marketing here in, is it sunny outside yet?
So.
Sunny-ish Las Vegas. We are live, our weekly Friday broadcast talking about all fun things happening on the web today. With me today is my good friend, Mr. Doug Beckley.
Not that good.
Oh, awkward. With me today is a guy named Doug Beckley.
Thank you.
Here's Doug's charming headshot. You'll notice his glasses are no longer round when we come back to the live stream. Doug, tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm the owner of the Beckley Group, a management consulting company, and
Awfully narcissistic, right?
I'm very impressed with myself today.
When you started your own company, was there any other choice besides your own name?
Many choices, and they were all taken. So without getting sued, I had to take my own name. So.
You were going to call it, originally you were going to call it the Facebook or
right.
Coca-Cola.
Google, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what the Beckley Group does.
So our job is to help businesses be better. You know, you want to make sure that businesses make more money and have more fun making more money. And if we can help them accomplish those two things, we've succeeded.
So what would be the highest level recommendation you tell someone on how they can have more fun and make more money?
You know, one of the biggest things that we've done recently is help people manage their time in such a way that they're producing more revenue but working fewer hours each week doing it. And a lot of people waste a lot of time. And so we've really kind of had a focus in the last 6 months at helping clients, you know, really generate more results and get home earlier.
Cool. And you've been doing this for years and years and years, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many would you say?
About 14 years now.
Do you find that the measure of people's time and their effectiveness and their profitability is an extension of sort of the hyper information deluge tech age that we live in these days?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the overstimulation of everybody through technology and information definitely adds to it.
Right.
But people that were a mess 30 years ago are a mess
right.
today. You know, people that were organized when there was no stimulation are organized when they know how to manage all that coming in better than people that don't. So It's really about the character and just the basic organization skills of the person.
Perfect. And we've worked together for several years now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I can attest to the fact that Doug is really, really good, and you employ a very Socratic method to help me figure out exactly what I'm trying to figure out on my own.
What does that mean? What's that word mean?
Method?
Could we look that up?
Sure, we can Google it up if you like.
Okay.
You're very good about asking questions that help me get to the answer that I need to get to.
Okay.
Rather than walking in and saying, you need to do this, this, and this. What I really appreciate, and I've met with multiple business coaches and life coaches and company coaches and individuals who try to do what you do as well as you do, but they fall flat because they walk in and they try to shoot from the hip and stroke out, you got to do this differently.
Yeah.
You got to do this differently. What I really appreciate about our time together is that you really take the time to listen, which is difficult these days. Most people don't want to listen.
Especially to you. Yeah.
And I'll talk incessantly.
Yeah.
It'll take me 25 minutes to get to a point. Which is why, when we have our meetings, you try to schedule them for 2 hours, and I always say, no, I can't meet for that long. So anyway, what else do you got?
But you're absolutely right. I mean, that problem of consultants coming in and giving you a generic solution to a completely unique problem is why consultants have a bad name in a lot of ways.
Right.
So asking questions and figuring out, it's just like a doctor. They got to diagnose before they prescribe. If a consultant comes in or if a doctor starts prescribing treatments and surgeries and medications before they've really diagnosed you, that's malpractice.
Right.
So it's the same exact thing with consultants.
Yeah. So consultants, anybody who's out there who's a consultant that's tuned in right now, Doug will be happy to coach you on how to be a better consultant.
I will.
For a nominal fee.
Phenomenal
fee. See what I did there? And I think that, that really, really resonates. People like you are, that's not meant to be racist.
We'll see. Go ahead.
People like you sunburn very easily. It came full circle. It's really, really helpful. As somebody who I'd been involved in founding startups before. I've been involved, but I'd always been on a team. As your first time as a CEO of a real legitimate company, certainly for me, and probably ongoing. I know that you work with people that have owned several companies in their lifetimes. It's really helpful. There's a lot you just don't know. You think, I got a product, I think I know the market, I'm going to go ahead and give it a go.
Yeah.
But there's so many things that there's so many people who have done really in-depth studies for. I mean, I could probably spend all day, every day reading about, how to be a better CEO, how to be a better boss, how to better empower people. But who the hell has time for that?
Yeah.
Same reason a company like mine's in business is because nobody has time to post to social media 12 times a day for their own company. It's, Doug brings it in, lets you work through your issues, gives you the cliff notes, holds my hand to the fire for a tangible action plan with deliverable dates, and it's really pretty helpful. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Big fan, big supporter.
Thank you.
Cool.
It's been mutually enjoyable. We've loved to work with you in Post Launch. It's been every company has clients they love and clients that are fun and clients they kind of dread, and we definitely you guys are in the category of fun. Clients that we look forward to meeting with.
Good. We love all our clients too.
So all of them.
You know who you are.
Yes.
Let's jump around to some news. What happened in the web this week? Do you guys? I hope the audience is really applauding. Katie on our team is putting together these really kick-ass, awesome graphics for our podcast, our webcast. It gets better and better and better every week, and we probably have hundreds of people now that watch this. So I'm pretty proud of myself.
Hundreds.
Soon we'll be super legitimate. We'll be Ed Bernstein legitimate.
Right on.
So lots of interesting things happened in the World Wide Web this week. Let's talk about some of the more technical things that came out. I don't know if anybody saw this article. Facebook Sports Stadium is a dedicated place to talk about the big game. This is really kind of a cool extension of social media. Are you a football fan?
Yeah.
Or a professional sports fan at all? You notice on game day, almost all the posts you're seeing were like, son of a bitch, laces out, Dan. Or, hey,
right.
Why, I can't believe they missed that field goal. I'm so angry at Romo for whatever, enter stuff here. This is really pretty cool because I'm not a huge sports person guy, but I'm a big social media follower. But this is really kind of cool. You can, within this tool, within Facebook, from a marketing perspective, this is great because these are people that are specifically online talking about the game that's happening right now. The ability to market to this audience is really great because they might not just be talking about football. They might be talking about, the regional soccer game for their kids. They might be talking about, a high school basketball team. They might be talking about any number of things. So it's a really kind of cool, unique opportunity, and it sort of resonates with what we're going to talk about a little bit later in the show.
So it's real time.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a matter of finding your audience. What does your audience do? If you sell sports memorabilia, this has got to be the greatest thing that you've ever been exposed to, because guess what? Now you have the opportunity to target people who are talking about specific games during a specific instance. And when one player does something great, guess what? Get the opportunity to promote that dude's jersey immediately.
Right.
People are going to be all over this kind of stuff. They're what's the word I'm thinking of? High on the excitement of a football match. So sell them shit. That's what the NFL's there to do, right?
Did you swear?
Me? Yeah, I swear I swore. We talked about this the other week, but it looks like it's still coming along. Facebook is opening a live streaming video tool, so you can stream directly to Facebook. Unfortunately, it's still not free. As soon as they make it free, we'll probably start playing with it for this webcast.
Kind of like we're doing now with YouTube, except on Facebook?
Right.
Okay.
Right. So the cool thing about this from a marketing perspective, we've all spent years and years and years from business growing an audience on Facebook. We've all gone through and have, we've got followers, we've got friends, we've got likes, we post stuff there to keep people engaged on a regular basis. Moving our live streaming cast to our audience is a whole lot easier than trying to get our audience to go to another platform. This webcast is a great example. We talk about it on Facebook. Hey, be sure to tune in, be sure to tune in, be sure to tune in. But most people aren't sitting on YouTube all day long. People are generally sitting on Facebook all day long. In fact, I've got 2 tabs of Facebook open right now, plus my phone, plus my laptop, plus my home computer, plus my Kindle, whatever other device.
So is it a myth that Facebook is kind of fading away and it's for older people?
So that's an interesting comment. That's an interesting thought. Is Facebook for older people? Let's consider, I think it needs to be dissected a little bit more than that. Yes, the general age of a Facebook user tends to skew a bit older than something that is for an Instagram user or let's say a Snapchat user where people just want to share images. The reality is though, teenagers aren't your audience most of the time.
Right.
So the fact that Facebook appeals to an older, what we're going to call an older audience, that's your customer anyway. That's your customer base. So is it considered old and stagnant? The numbers are still growing. Facebook is still increasing in popularity month over month, year over year, adding more and more people. But are the kids using it? Not really as much. But do we really care? Because the kids, I'm not trying to sell anything to kids.
Right.
I mean, maybe some weed sometimes at the high school around the corner. But other than that, I don't need to sell anything to kids.
So, I mean, I get that, but my daughter is 21 and tells me that nobody's on Facebook anymore. I mean, she still is on there a little bit, but I kind of am made to feel like, it's passing me by, and I need to have some other platform to be able to communicate. But that's different if my goals are to have fun versus sell product or get my business, known out there. I guess it's a completely different objective.
Right. So let's communicating with your family. That's an interesting piece, and a lot of people talk about this. Communicating with your family is something that we all try to do in unique ways. With your grandmother, you probably have to write her a letter. With your parent, my parents are in their 70s. When I want to communicate with them, I have to pick up the phone and call them. When I want to communicate with my little brother, who's roughly my age, we send text messages.
Right.
Or we share videos and photo on Facebook. When I want to talk to, now my kids, if I want to talk to them, or I've got teenage nieces. If I want to talk to them, I better be on Snapchat.
Right.
Because they don't care about any other platform. But at the same time, it's just a matter of saying, yes, it skews a little bit older, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's a bad thing.
Okay.
So let me click over to this. This is a demographic. This is a little chart that Pew Research is putting out about people who are on Facebook. Facebook has 72% of adult internet users.
Wow.
And 62% of the entire population of adults in the world are on Facebook. Those are some really pretty significant numbers. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. The largest age demographic here, is still skewing at 18 to 29-year-olds. Potentially our clients, but second largest is 30 to 50. And it drops down a little bit more as you go further. But, if you look at just this, and this is a Pew Research report, you can see at pewinternet.org, and this was published in August of last year. You can see, the earning demographics are there. I mean, it's pretty wide base. Yeah. It's pretty spread, it's spread pretty wide.
Yeah.
We still embrace it as a quality marketing platform. At Post Launch, I'm not going to recommend people do something different. However, common sense comes into it a lot. When was the last time you were exposed to a new product on Facebook that you actually took the time to research? For me, I do that every day. When I'm exposed to a new product on Instagram, it's few and far between. I'll use Instagram 100 times and never once click on a sponsored link. Is that going to change? Probably. The writing on the walls, that's going to be more of a platform to engage with.
Right.
When we're talking about influence from advertisers on something like Twitter, it's an entirely different opportunity and a different audience.
So let me ask you, Jeff, when I'm on Facebook, but I'm on Facebook with my friends and family, I use it purely for fun, recreational purposes. Right. When I have to go online and use social media for my business, it's just it's work.
Sure.
Okay. And I no longer have the same motivation now it's work. Now it's kind of a chore versus doing it for fun. Right. How do you deal with that problem?
I think it's a mental block, and I think a lot of people think the same way. It feels like a chore, but if you got a call from 60 Minutes and they said, "Doug, would you come on 60 Minutes to talk about your business?" You're not necessarily going to talk about your family life if you went on 60 Minutes, or you went on the Today Show, or you went on whatever. It's marketing, and would that frustrate you as much as it's required to tell your social media audience that, hey, listen, I'm out here, I do these things, this may or may not resonate with you.
Right.
it's employment, not enjoyment, right? We all do have to do things that maybe aren't the most fun.
But I don't want to.
If you're passionate about growing your company, you probably have to do things you don't like to do. I don't like to go to networking events after work. I do go to them though, because I know that there's opportunities for me to grow more business. I like to go home. I like to have dinner with my kids and my wife. I like to relax. I like to have a drink and go to bed at a reasonable hour. I don't like to go out and meet a dozen people and then come back, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, all keyed up from working and not be able to sleep all night. For me, so there's things that we all have to do to be able to grow and promote our business.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Cool.
I'm just trying to figure out how to get people engaged. How do we make it as much fun to promote our business as it is just to play around and give other people a hard time and make fun of our friends?
Sure. The short answer to that is talk about something that interests you in your business. When we're sitting here, so for your business, in the side of business coaching and business consulting, what if you just tapped your friends, your business friends, they don't have to be, your best friend from college, but your business friends, and say, assuming you went to college,
I have documents that say I did.
Right.
What are you trying to imply?
We all do, right?
Okay.
We ask them, have you ever hired a business coach? Do a poll.
Right.
You ever work with a business coach? What do you like or not like about him? And publish that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So I've always thought that a good conversation would be, tell us about the worst boss you've ever had.
Yeah.
What are the elements of a terrible boss?
Right.
And then flip it around and talk about how not to be a terrible boss, how not to be a bad boss.
Right, yeah.
That's actually not a bad idea.
I think
I'm already getting value from this experience.
Boom. Science. I think that, can I get to answer the question?
Sure.
I had a terrible boss one time. And what I felt was really terrible was that he was British.
Wait a minute. We have a British audience.
I'm kidding. That's
God
not why it
save
was
the
terrible.
Queen.
What was really sort of terrible about my worst boss? He saw some measure of success, and as an employee at the time, I wanted to keep growing a company. I was motivated. I was a growth-driven individual, an entrepreneur at heart, but employed at the time. Once we started seeing certain levels of success, his mentality shifted from growth to protection. Where he would spend $5, $10, $15 to try to save $1.
Right.
And it became, unfortunately, it caused friction in my working relationship and personal relationship with that individual. But I think that that's something, that is maybe difficult. If I were him and I were to go back, maybe I should have been fired at the time. Maybe I wasn't on board with the direction of the overall company. And for me, that turned out to be a confrontational relationship. So, yeah.
Well,
so
you
that's
were
what
also kind of a budding entrepreneur that was discovering maybe you needed to not have a boss because your boss needed to be you.
Right. And yeah, it took me 2 years to actually sort of pull the trigger on that. All right, let's jump back into something else cool that happened on the web this week. This came out, this Guardian article, I think this was published yesterday, about ticket scammers. Big Ticketmaster, these big ticket sale groups that are often pushing out, there's only 2 seats left. There's only 3 seats left to get you to make a purchase and essentially screw you over with really, really high processing fees because they're showing super limited inventory. So they went through and they did all this research and all this stuff, and so there's a big ticket is fixed, and the Attorney General of the United States is now filing lawsuit to say, hang on, what's going on here? This one, they talk about ticket fees increasing the overall cost of a ticket by as much as 21% on times. And this article is pretty good. There's some alternatives. We know that nobody reads more than 100 words, so log on as soon as tickets go on sale. Shop some other sites. Don't just go to one. Look on eBay, secondary markets that aren't specific for television or for ticket sales. There's lots of opportunities to kind of track this stuff down.
See, I buy a lot of tickets, and I did not know this was happening.
This just got announced. I think the news broke yesterday.
Okay.
Thursday, January 28th.
Can I give my ticket buying tip for the day?
Do it.
That will counteract this to some degree.
Yeah.
And maybe everybody already knows this, but I discovered this. I go to a lot of different kind of rock concerts, and I found that $300 tickets, $400 tickets, if you wait until an hour, 2 hours before the show, a lot of those ticket prices start to come down drastically because just like scalpers who are trying to unload their tickets in front of the venue need to unload them, they start to reduce price. And you can get tickets for 20-25% of face value if you're willing to wait until the show. So it's kind of just the opposite of what's happening here. They're trying to inflate the perceived demand.
And that's interesting. My wife, we were talking this morning before we both went to work, and she said, so you like to go to rock shows, I like to go to country shows. She said there's a big country music festival that's happening in October in Las Vegas. Tickets go on sale at 10:30 this morning. Be sure you buy tickets. And I said, have a great day, sweetie. And I haven't done anything about it. Not because I don't want to, not because I won't get tickets, but yeah, same mentality. I'm thinking, am I going to buy tickets the immediate second that they go on sale, or do I wait?
Right.
Do I wait a little bit and see if I can actually get them less expensive?
But I'm cheap. You're a very, very wealthy man, and so it's a different. I have to watch my money.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you want you to do?
So.
Let's talk about this. Let's jump into our video that's going viral. And this one, I'm going to give a big shout out, because you're a rock and roll guy. You'll appreciate this video. This is actually one of my competitors here in Las Vegas, a company called Neon Brand. I'm friendly with their CEO. His name is Kenny. He's very, very creative when it comes to search engine marketing. His office is based down in downtown Las Vegas. And I thought this was pretty impressive. He's done several different videos with a music piece, but this came out. I saw it online this morning, but I'm just going to go through and let this play. Let me turn on the volume here a little bit. Oh, what's that from? Stand by. We're having some technical issues. My apologies to our billions of viewers. There we go. The GOP debate live on Twitter is what that was.
Wow.
So we'll jump back into this. This is and I'm going to talk about why I felt that this was pretty impressive, but let's fire this up. Yeah.
I like it.
It's pretty neat, right?
So nerds busting out.
Right.
I can see why you like this.
Closeted nerds. So I think all the search engine people that I know want to be rock stars.
Yeah.
So we do what we can, and it's so the really funny thing that I see about that is that it's two ways, and you're incredibly particular about what goes out on video for yourself.
Yes.
You edit and re-edit and plan and script, and it takes you a long time to produce
when
a
you're
video.
dealing with this, I mean, you have to make sure the final product is
right. Yeah. You've got your own Beyonce diva level deliverables.
Thank you.
That what I really liked about that was impressive. So he was the only actor in the whole thing. He came in, the transitions were good, the sound was good. I've watched it 3 or 4 times now. It technically is going viral. He's got 1,000 views. 1,000 views in the first day. But it really is something.
Is that the definition of viral?
Well, no, I don't know what the number cutoff is, because that's
so
only
we can make one up then.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
8.
All right.
That's regionally specific. This is things where people are they going to watch a music video commercial for an SEO company in Las Vegas unless they're sort of in the space. Is that gonna get him business? Maybe not. It does show his creativity. For me, I love it. I sit here and I always think, how fun would it be to make music videos in our office? We have the team, we have people who are musical. At the same time, I watch that, and if I were one of his clients, I'd be like, what the fuck isn't he working on my website right now? Because he's doing a music video. Maybe his clients don't have that same mentality. You wouldn't have that thought?
No, I think it's kind of cool. The fact that because everybody wants to do that kind of thing, and nobody's doing it. So right. I think people would relate to that.
Okay. That's good. Well, you're certainly entitled to your opinion. I'm nervous to do something like that because, for what it's worth, that was probably a day's worth of production. But
usually it's the guys that bust out and try something crazy that, end up succeeding with something. If you don't try, come on. That's kind of what, like you and your old boss. He was trying to protect. You were trying to bust out.
Right. So what would you recommend I do? What sort of stuff?
I think an adult video is the right niche for you. Yeah.
Just an actual video of adults, or we're talking an erotic film?
I'm just going to let you run with that.
Okay.
All right.
I like it. He plants the seed and then he runs the hell away. All right, let's jump into one of my favorite sections. Your website sucks.
Okay.
Hashtag bad.
Not my website.
No, I think we looked at your website on a previous episode where we had your lovely wife, or her website for her Forward Nevada company, come in, and we sort of picked apart some things that we changed.
Well, you designed it, so
that's right.
It's pretty awesome now.
It's awesomer. As we all know, I don't really like any websites I ever see, but there's some technical things that we're going to look at, and this is one. Today's website is the City Athletic Club in Las Vegas, Nevada. In Las Vegas, there's a massive brand, Las Vegas Athletic Club. You know those guys, right?
Yep.
LVAC. They have probably, 300,000 members that are part of their organization. 300,000 paying members that are paying $20 or $30 a month. These smaller gyms, these one-off gyms, have to compete against that audience. So this is the City Athletic Club. It's located on Sahara and Buffalo. It's right next to my office, so I do go here a couple days a week. Memberships are $19 a month. They have good personal trainers there. The images do justice to it. It's very much a nightclubby atmosphere. Kids aren't allowed. There's good stuff going on. Music. You see hardwood floors, a little bit darker than the rest, but at the end of the day, it's still an athletic club. The reason I'm picking this website apart today is the fact that they're missing out on some really, really basic fundamental things. One being, you know what I'm about to say?
It's not mobile responsive.
It's definitely not mobile responsive.
Was that what you were going to say?
I was going to say that one, but even more base than that, there's no phone number. They're not presenting you with a phone number. What do you expect is going to happen? Let's say you're trying to find a gym, and you come to the website. I like what I see. What are you going to do? Are you going to fill out a form?
So is this the homepage right here?
This is their homepage.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. The other stuff that we look at is, their site is intentionally dark. They're trying to promote, an adult feel.
What's with the wallpaper thing, like from Grandma's house?
Right. So this background wallpaper was really popular to try to give websites a different look, about 10 years ago. The problem with them is this is a gigantic, enormous image that sits on the back of this, which means the site is going to load slowly, and people who are accessing on a mobile device are going to have a real hard time. They're going to sit there, and the site's not going to pull up. It does absolutely nothing to lend to the brand at all. But, I'm on the homepage. They have a gallery, which I'm guessing is images or video. See how slow it even moves there? Oh.
Now, the pictures are very good, though.
Right.
Don't you like the pictures?
Is that going to make you show up and go?
Well, it does make the place appealing.
Right.
So that's a strength.
What happens if you go in and it doesn't look like that?
Well, but at least you're in.
Right.
That's the point of the website, is to get you in, right?
You walk through the front door, but we don't know where it is.
That's true.
There's no address. There's no phone number. If I'm going to fill out a form, then maybe someone will email me.
Does anyone ever fill out those forms?
Not for a gymnasium.
Yeah.
If you need some more specific data, or you need the opportunity to communicate with people after hours. Forms are not a bad thing. I get 5 or 6 contact forms on my website filled out overnight most days. And this thing is great. The flashing embossed little button that's there. A great way to check mobile responsiveness of a website is, and anyone can do this as you're on your screen, when we mean mobile responsive, it needs to snap to the size of the device that we're on. So you can grab the bottom corner of a browser, and essentially that is what it's going to look like on a standard monitor, on a iPad. Let's go iPad size. iPad if it's horizontal. Your larger cell phones.
Yeah.
Or your basic cell phones. It's going to squish all the way down. So people are stuck with this horizontal scroll. 90% of the internet is supposed to be using cell phones for accessibility in 2016. It's supposed to exceed.
Wow.
90% of internet usage will be through a mobile device. So this is really pretty bad. The opportunity to be here. What we want to have, even in this space, is a phone number you can click to call or a link you can click to get directions. Because people who are accessing your site on a cell phone, they don't want to research. They're not going to sit here and wait for these giant images to load. It really doesn't even resonate. The other thing that I talk about constantly.
How do you get to this particular page? So there's no contact us. So not only is it not a phone number, the contact us is just the little form.
There might be a phone number further down on
there
the page.
It is, okay. But you have to work to get it.
Right. The most important thing on the site is get people to communicate with us, right? The point of having a site, and this is one of the things we're going to talk about as we get to the end of the broadcast here. The point of having a site like this was built by a web developer who can make pretty websites. This is not an ugly website. There's nothing visibly unattractive about what's being presented here. The problem is that a lot of web developers miss out on the fundamental aspects of why people even have a website. So having a website for the sake of having a website is a waste of money. And I had this discussion with somebody who I grew up with this morning that, just having it up there sucks if people can't communicate with you.
Right.
The whole idea is to generate more business, not just to have some spot on the web. The 4 things that we always talk about: who we are, what we do, why you should do business with us, and how to do business with us. Who we are, City Athletic Club, that's great. What we do, your gym. Okay, but why do I?
Why you?
Yeah. Why do I want to go to City Athletic Club? It's in here. The only Las Vegas health club to receive the prestigious Con Nest 5-star distinction.
Wow.
How much does that resonate with you if you want to go to a gym?
Don't know what that is.
Right. I don't know what that is.
That could be their brother-in-law's award.
Right. Well, Con Nest is an international travel magazine that apparently.
Well, see, you're much more sophisticated than I am. I didn't know that.
Right. I eat my meatballs and call them.
White trash does not know what that award is.
But that doesn't matter to me. I don't really care. At the end of the day, I want to know: is this gym good? Is it clean? Am I going to be able to get to it when I want to get to it? Is it expensive?
Yeah.
That's really all that matters. If they have classes, they're putting a schedule up there. But first-time visitor to this site is going to be left woefully underpleased.
When you bash people's websites, do they ever call you and hire you as a result of this?
I have had somebody call and yell at me.
You should send this to City Athletic Club. Maybe they'll hire you.
I actually have been trying to get in and talk to these people for a while. They're very interested in growing their business, but even when the New Year rush came around, most gyms get totally packed with people in their New Year's resolution, or as we call your first 10 days of January to-do list.
Yes. Yes.
It wasn't. The gym was just totally dead as dead. They missed a huge opportunity to capitalize on these people. Who we are, what we do, why do business with us, how to do business with us. Nice, clean, simple.
Yeah.
How to do business with us is pick up the phone and call.
Yeah.
Or come in for a tour.
I like it. You should send this to them. You should send this webcast to them and see if they want to hire you.
Okay, done. From my business coach, Doug Beckley.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy.
Let's see if it works.
Yeah. We'll do it. And then if
do I get a commission if they hire you?
I think that they should.
All
yeah,
right.
Absolutely. That sounds great.
Are we going to talk about me? Because I don't have a lot of time, and I thought really this was about me, and we're kind of talking a lot about you.
Hold your own damn webcast if you want to talk about you. Shit. All right, we're going to talk about you right now. We talked a little bit about this audience identification. And I've asked you in the past, and you brought this up before we sat down and did the webcast, why do you want my customers' information? I said to you, Doug, can I have the names of every single person that's done business with you for the last 18 months? And you said, what do you need that for? And that's a probing question. A lot of
Yeah.
people are going to say, why the hell do you need that? The reality is there's some really, really fantastic tools on Google, on Facebook, anywhere where you can actually buy ads. The more sophisticated markets now do what they call audience lookalikes. So if you were to give me and tell the world this, there's an inappropriate amount of data available just with your email address.
Right.
If I take the email addresses of every person I've ever met and expressed interest in doing business with me, I can just dump them into these ad buy opportunities, things like Google AdWords, things like Facebook advertising and Instagram advertising. And what they do is they automatically create what they call lookalike audiences. So I might not know that every single one of my customers listens to Nickelback. But by dumping their email address in, these systems will automatically just mash up all these thousands of data points and say, guess what? Your audience is skewed toward Nickelback.
Okay, first of all, that's scary and disturbing.
Right.
It really is.
Sure.
Second of all, I totally agree. When we consult on marketing, that's exactly what we tell our customers is
Right.
the best way to figure out how to spend your marketing dollars is to figure out where your last 100 or 1,000 or 10 customers came from,
Yep.
and then gear your future marketing budget towards historical performance.
Right.
So same exact idea. I love it.
So in the digital space, we can get really, really granular with that stuff. If I'm selling search engine marketing or online marketing, and I want to sell primarily to companies in Las Vegas, my audience is companies in Las Vegas. How many companies are there in Las Vegas? 150,000 maybe?
150,000, yeah.
Okay.
Ish.
So 100% of that audience is 150,000 that want to have some sort of web presence. Well, the reality is that some of them already have, some of them can't afford it, some of them, it doesn't make sense for me to market competing agencies. So we go through and we say, okay, listen, we know that every single one of our customers is a white male, age 35 to 55, who drives a Lexus on a 3-year lease. Now I can go through and find those exact people. That for me, for the consulting
How do you find
business,
them?
How do I find them?
Mm-hmm.
The same tools that are going to give you that
Okay.
persona are going to say, here's the data points that matter. If you'd like to target people that match these data points,
Okay.
throw some money at it.
Wow.
It's really pretty awesome.
So that's kind of like how Facebook targets ads about my interests. Same idea.
Yep.
Okay. It knows I like Nickelback in your case.
Right.
So it's going to, okay, gotcha.
It knows that you love Nickelback, that you're such a
I
Nickelback
love
fan
Nickelback.
that you actually have Chad, the lead singer's face tattooed on your back.
Well,
it's like this.
do you guys want to see it? No.
No, thank you. We're running out of time.
We are.
With my friend Doug Beckley. Can I call you friend now?
I'm feeling closer to you now.
My Facebook friend Doug
Yeah,
Beckley.
yeah.
Parting thoughts, Doug? Anything that you want to talk about? Are you? Let's talk a little bit about. Take 60 seconds to talk about Catapult for a second, because
Okay.
Catapult is a group that you're a facilitator of, and there's really a lot of good things that come out of it. So Catapult is when I explain it to people, it's a CEO only or executive director level only meetup. So
Right.
we meet once a month for a day, and it's really, for me, it's really therapeutic because these people have gone through the exact same struggles in business and employees and taxation and opportunities that I've been through.
Yep.
But it's really informative too, and from sort of the business coaching side and bringing in experts in the industry. I'll let you talk about it a little bit now.
Well, I mean, there's the boring part, and then there's the real reason. The boring part is it's 12 CEOs that get together once a month to talk about problems, educate each other, grow their businesses. But the real truth of it is we spend most of our business lives talking about how great we are and going to networking events and putting on our best persona.
Right.
When you go into a Catapult group, you shut the door, you take off the masks, and you kind of cut the BS.
Right.
Every business owner has problems. Every business owner has fears and issues. And you get them together, they sign a non-disclosure agreement, and they talk about that stuff.
Right.
And they help each other solve problems.
Yeah.
And when those problems are solved, business grows, and so as well as does their margin.
Perfect.
So
if somebody's interested in learning more and potentially becoming a member of a Catapult group, what's the process?
call me. I'm going to give them my phone number, Jeff.
Do it.
I'm going to give you guys my direct. How many people are we talking to? 120. Viral, isn't
Totally
it?
viral. So I'm going to encourage everyone. Catapult is walking through and be part of those groups.
Yeah. You're very additive to the group.
Folks, everybody have a fantastic weekend. We wish the Beckley Group bottom of this video. Call.
See you, everybody.